and is that you have to be, data is powerful, it's great. I mean, it is the way you learn about biology, the natural world, but you have to be very careful with it. You can be confounded, you can tell the wrong story, you can interpret it incorrectly. So data by itself is not valuable. It is a resource that has tremendous value, but by itself it's not valuable unless it is analyzed very carefully. And in my experience, it's getting hard enough, meaning that computer systems are complex enough, biology is complex enough, that it takes a lot of work, and probably more than one person's expertise to evaluate data in a way that I start becoming comfortable with. So I have a double-edged love-hate relationship with data. I absolutely love it. I think it's the way you can see biology and explain biology and communicate it and or miscommunicate. And so it's a double-edged sword for me. Data is very valuable, but that doesn't mean that anyone can interpret it. It's complex, and it's trying to grab some of that complexity and organize it.
We need to get out of our own heads. We're pretty close to it when you live it every day. I mean, as you were talking, Bob, I remember my grad students' days and the love-hate relationship with data. So I did some work with infrared thermography for a while. So using cameras and different sensors to pick up heat signals from different materials. We use that for evaluating pain in cattle, for looking at blood flow in hooves. Rodeo animals, use that to evaluate stress, and could we validate it that way? And one of the projects we did was a validation of different types of cameras and effects. And the whole point of this real story here is I have a spreadsheet that's picture the screen with all the cells, and they're all full of different numbers. It's like 1.1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.5, 1.8, 2.3, those kinds of things. It means nothing until I overlay it with the picture that it represents, the pixels that each one of those points represents, and it's a cow, and it shows the entire heat signal of that animal. I can explain that to my 3-year-old nephew, and he understands it. He gets it to the point that he's able to walk out there and talk about how it might fit with his teddy bear or something. And yes, that was an actual conversation we had. But I think sometimes we make it really complex because it is, but we forget that sometimes it is easy to explain with simple graphics or simple videos. And sometimes it's that basic discussion and having that. I'm talking here a lot about communicating externally or communicating in the first step of finding that shared value or finding that alignment. I think sometimes it's a lot easier than we think. There's a great book called The Simplicity of Thought and How It Changed the World. And I would really recommend that one. It's about all these inventions and things that humans have done and how it changed the world. And talking to folks last night, we can literally hear from dead people. And everyone looks at you like you're crazy, because I'm Canadian. We get cold, our brains freeze. But we can write down this video recording, heaven forbid, should I die, someone can listen to it and hear my thoughts. And when you think about some of the crazy inventions that we've done and explain them in a really simple way, we've done a lot of great things, a lot of really super complex things that are very easy to explain. You just sometimes need to step back and think about it in a much different way.